Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Rob.
And this is Ask Rob and Rob.
Welcome to Ask Rob and Rob. It's the part of the week where we answer your questions. In fact, it's now one of the two parts of the week where we get your questions answered. Because as well as answering 2 questions on a Tuesday in Ask Rob and Rob, we also answer 2 questions on a Sunday in the Sunday Times. If you'd like to send us your question for either of those, then it's really simple. All you need to do is go to propertyhub.net/ask. So let's get straight into our first question from Steve.
Morning, gents. Steve calling from Oxford. I just so happen to have walked into possibly the worst mortgage situation I could have imagined. Right now, I'm currently looking at arrangement fees of around about $8,500 per product at a rate of 6.8. So I know that with inflation coming down, there's been a rate change, and I'm kind of very much sat here thinking the numbers that I've been given so far aren't likely to hang around, and they will probably go down, but I have no real idea of how much that's going to be because that would just be speculation, of course. It's just been a little bit worrying to see all of my potential capital gains for possibly up to a couple of 3 years just be liquidated overnight. So just wanted to really get your comments.
Steve, thank you for your question, and I feel your pain. A lot of people will be feeling your pain at the moment. The mortgage situation is more challenging than I can ever remember it being. And arrangement fees that you've mentioned are particularly painful. You used to have arrangement fees of like maybe £1,000 or maybe 1% of the loan, but now you're seeing some crazy numbers, and the £8,500 is a huge amount. Lenders are charging those fees for 2 reasons. One is because it means that they can keep the actual product rate down, the interest rate, which makes it easier to pass the stress tests, so it's easier for them to lend. And the other reason is just because they can. And both those reasons are starting to look like they may be resolved. So the actual interest rate, of course, is dependent on expectations of future interest rates in the economy in general, dictated by the base rate. And that in turn is influenced by inflation. We're seeing inflation coming back the right way now. Expectations of where interest rates are going to peak are falling. So we may already have seen the peak for mortgage rates. You don't know for sure. No one knows what's going to happen, but it's possible. And we're also seeing more competition among lenders, which is making them revisit their arrangement fees. So we've seen cuts from many of the big lenders in recent weeks. Again, likely to continue, not dramatically, but it seems like this may be the start of things slowly getting better. Now, in your question, you referenced an interest rate of 6.8%. That is very, very high, even in the current market. I don't know, maybe there's something about your circumstances. Maybe you're a first-time buyer and first-time landlord, so you don't have many options, but that is a very high rate. I imagine you're working with a mortgage broker already, but if not, make sure you do. Get a second opinion if necessary, because it's always important, but it's particularly important in the current climate to make sure that you're considering all the options and getting the best deal you possibly can. Ultimately, though, yeah, you're not going to be getting the mortgage you want at the moment. But this is where having a long-term perspective really helps. Because if you were trying to make some quick cash from this property, own it for a couple of years, sell it on for a profit, that's probably not going to happen for many reasons, but including the fact that the fees are going to really hurt you. But if you're owning the property for 10 plus years, then the product fee that you're paying starts to feel a lot less significant over that time. And of course, the mortgage rate that you're paying at the start isn't the mortgage rate that you're necessarily going to be paying the whole way through. And the rent that you're charging is likely to go up over the years as well. So there's no way we're going back to what rates used to be where you could borrow for 2% with low fees. That ship has sailed. But I also don't think we're going to be in a situation like we are now for too much longer. So yes, getting into investment at a time like this is tough, but it does at least mean that if you can ride out what's happening now, then everything in the future is going to feel a whole lot easier. So Steve, do work with a broker, get the best deal you can, and good luck.
Good luck, Steve. Next up, we have a question in from Carmen.
Hi, Rob and Rob. Carmen here. I'm actually quite new to the property world, so your podcast is so insightful and providing me with a wealth of knowledge, so thank you so much. I wanted to ask if you both think it's more beneficial for me to purchase a property in my own name or in a limited company, since the tax is deductible for the mortgage interest in a limited company. Would like to know your thoughts, please. Thank you.
Thanks, Carmen. Thank you for your question, because it's an easy answer for me, because I have somewhere to send you. I'm going to send you over to our YouTube channel, where Rob has quite kindly put together a video called Should You Buy a Property in a Limited Company in 2023? And it was released a couple of months ago, but the information is completely up to date. And there, it will guide you to be able to decide whether it's right for you or not. And the reason why I'm guiding you there rather than saying do this or do that is because you need to give a little bit more information to be able to make that decision. But the video will guide you through that process. And a Brucey bonus, there's a resource that's absolutely free that you can access within that video as well. In the description, there's a link that will give you a list of questions that will help you decide whether it's right for you or not. So if you don't want to watch Rob and go straight to the link, you can do. But I'm sure while you're there, you'll want to spend the time to really develop your knowledge. And most importantly for everyone listening, subscribe to the YouTube channel. There's so much going on there. The podcast, if you're enjoying this, loving this, you will absolutely love the YouTube channel. So make sure you check that out. So search for Property Hub UK and you will find all our videos. And the one you're looking for is Should You Buy a Property in a Limited Company?
Brucey bonus. You've dated yourself there, Rob. Unfortunately, you've dated me as well because I knew exactly what you were talking about. But that is us done for this week. Thank you for listening. Do head over to propertyhub.net/ask if you'd like to get your question answered. And we'll see you back here on Thursday for the Property Podcast. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.